everyone, Soundwave 8084 here. I'm gonna make a video here of tier listing the Transformers not live action, theatrical movies. There's all the movies that have been released in theaters. So I'm going to make a tier list of that. You can see it here on the screen. I already got my little listings. I took away a row just because I was like, I don't know if I'm really going to be that divided in these films. So I just made it to 4 listings. You can see up top I got Prime, which means that's the Prime. It's amazing. More than meets the eye, which means it's good. It's a good movie. It's enjoyable. GoBot. That's very middle of the road. It might have some good things about it, but a lot of the movie could just be also a lot of bad things about it. Then the last one is I got better things to do tonight than die, and that means to me, it's the worst of the bunch. It's got very few redeeming qualities. It still could have a few good scenes, but overall, I don't ever feel the urge to watch this movie. So that's pretty much how I'm breaking this up. I have down below. I have all the movies that have been released theatrically: '86, 2007 live action, Avengers of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, The Last Night, Bumblebee, Rise of the Beast, and the new one, Transformers One. Now, I've already done a review. I've done a spoiler review on Transformers 1 a few days ago. I actually saw the movie about over a week ago. It was the previous weekend when I saw it in the early access things. And I really enjoyed it. I think it's a very good Transformers movie. And I actually, when it came out, I did say I put it right up there with the original 1986 film. Um, I gave it a solid 8 out of 10 in my movie review. And I said it probably could only go up from here. I have to watch it again. I've only seen it once. I will see it again in theaters, and I might, sway my opinion up or down. But I figure most likely up. As I go back, I can pay more attention to the backgrounds and things happening, in the scenes, just not the main characters. 'Cause I was trying to follow the story, the plot the first time. But there might be a few spoilers in this video here. I'm gonna do my best to not spoil anything because this movie just came out. It's actually, as I'm filming this video, it's Saturday, September 21st. The movie's been out really for like 2 days, and it's not doing too good at the box office already. It did make 3.3 million in previews on Thursday night, which was more than Bumblebee did. But it is Friday didn't do so well. I think I made like what was it 9 million, and it was only tracking for about a 26, 28 million opening when they originally forecasted about 30, and then there's like, oh, it could do 40 after that preview. It ain't looking like that now, but my theaters, I did check tonight, some of my local theaters where you have to, pick out your seats, and a lot of these 6 p.m. and 7:30 and 8 p.m. showings had a lot of seats bought. Most seats left available were the ones in the front, like 3 rows up against the screen, and some of the VIP ones, which they cost a lot more money. So it was doing decent at one theater I was checking. The earlier shows this morning not as much, which makes it seem in my area it's more adults going to this movie than kids. But I was hoping for new kids to go see these movies. We need new fans to come into Transformers and carry the brand on when I guess I'm dead and gone. Right here, I'm going to go ahead and start. Like I said, be civil in the comments if you hate what I put and where I put it and stuff. But it's my own little tier list I made. I'm sorry for the ads that are on the screen that they actually show up. I can't see my camera what it sees when I'm recording this. I just see the tier maker site. But it's got ads galore on the site. It's annoying actually. So first, we're going to go ahead and take the original 1986 Transformers movie, and that is pure nostalgia. Most people, if they grew up with that movie, nowadays have nostalgia, and that will make your bias towards it even bigger because you grew up with it. You have this love and history for it. Now, I will say this: to enjoy this movie now, if you're fresh into Transformers, you don't get the emotional impact because the emotions happen in the first 20 minutes. Everybody gets wiped out, killed, murdered from the previous seasons 1 and 2 of the cartoon. So if you didn't watch those growing up or see those beforehand, you're not going to get the emotional impact that provides. So I say that's where that movie is lacking. It doesn't, if you're coming in fresh, it's just a big bombastic animated film with robots being killed off willy nilly and new ones being formed and that kind of stuff. But still, you gotta look at it in your own personal preference. That's what I'm going for. I can watch this movie as many times as I want. I'm still going to always put this one up here in Prime because I grew up with it. That's my bias. I love that movie. Um, Now we're gonna move on to the 2007 movie Transformers. Michael Bay. Now, a lot of people love this movie, or they like say it's the best of the live action. It's good enough, but after some of the, actually prefer some of the other live action films to this one. This one's really heavy, and it's just I think it's too human heavy. I understand what they're going for, but it's still a good time, and I can watch it a decent amount. I'm going to actually put this one just for being the first live action film. Uh, put it more than meets the eye. Revenge of the Fallen. Oh dear God. Uh, when it first came out, opening night, I almost fell asleep. Midway through. It's got great action scenes. Probably the best action scene, or one of the best, with the forest battle. Sort of midway in the film. It's got some good CGI in places. It got a little shoddy CGI. It's not shoddy, but you can see when the twins, Skids and Mud Flapper on screen, it gets a little awkward at times. But I'm gonna say it's the story is what suffers. They had the writer's strike. They pretty much based this on set pieces and then wrote around it. The Bay is like, I want to include this, I want to include that, make it happen, and that's where the story really falls down. Um, Otherwise, I think it's an enjoyable film at times. It gets serious at times. The comedy is what's too heavy in this film. It's not something you can take your kids to. If I watch this with my parents now, I'm 4 years old. If I watched this with my parents, I'd feel awkward, and I'm not embarrassed, but maybe embarrassed when certain scenes pop up, is because the humor is just really outrageous at times. So I'm going to put this in GoBot. If it comes on TV, I will put it on in the background and then turn around for the scenes I want to watch. I kind of want to drop it to I got better things to do tonight than die. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to move it down. It's got some really cool scenes. It's got a lot of bad stuff that really just it hampers the movie for me. I had to move that one back down. All right, Dark of the Moon. Um, this is probably my favorite of the live action films. Again, it's long. It has some of the humor, but they really toned it down. But it still has some outrageous humor in it. Things that kind of don't make sense with the humor, but it's not as bad as Revenge of the Fallen. I think the CGI is wonderful in this film, just like it was in the 2007 film. I think the story is a lot better than Revenge of the Fallen, as I think it's a lot better than the first film in a way as well. I do like the humans are still kind of heavy in this, but at least this time they're more integral to the Transformers plot. So I feel this is a little bit better written film than the others. It does really start the more murderous prime. I know we'll kill them all. Revenge of the Fallen had that too at the beginning when he just executes that one Decepticon and stuff. But this one, he's at the end, he's just slaying them all. It's that kind of way. But they just killed a bunch of humans, so I can understand them killing them all. But this one, I find it very enjoyable. It's gonna go in more than meets the eye. All right, so now we have Transformers: Age of Extinction, the first of the Mark Wahlberg movies. Shia is gone. This movie is really long. It really drags in places. I actually enjoyed this movie for Lockdown, and that's really the main reason I enjoy this film. End is okay. Um, Stanley Tucci's character is fine at times, even though he can be a little outrageous. I do enjoy parts of this movie. I think I enjoy more than I hate. I think it's just the long run time drags this down, and I just really Lockdown saves this movie for me. I'm going to actually stick this in GoBot, which means I will watch it, but I will want to skip parts for it gets kind of slow burn. Not the movie's slow burn, but it's just it drags it so long. But it's got some really cool visuals. Less in the transforming area, but we do get a little more time with the actual Transformers themselves, so that's nice. Now we're moving on to Transformers: The Last Night. Yeah, I don't know what to really say about this movie. I saw it 3 times in theaters. I'm ashamed to say that. Saw it opening night with my wife, and my brother wanted to see it when he came back in town. We watched it with him. And my oldest daughter wanted to go see it, so I took her to see it. And then I hadn't seen it since. So yeah, I don't think I bought this one on. Blu-ray, I might have. If I did, I haven't watched it, and I don't even know where it's at. If I did, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's got some okay pieces. There's parts of the movie I like, but then there's way more parts that I don't like. I feel like the action is very incomplete at times. Like the action scenes will just cut. It's got some good elements in there, but it's just there's too much negative in this movie that really just takes me out of it. The story, like the Dinobots, they're there and they're not there. It's like they could really use them at the end. I mean, I don't know. I don't really. I haven't seen it in years. It's gonna go, and I got better things to do tonight than die. Now we're moving on to Bumblebee. Now this movie here is enjoyable. I think it's one of the better written movies. Again, very human, heavy, and that's just because it's really on one Transformer on Earth, and it's still the Decepticons come. So it's really just Bumblebee and her. The '80s humor and the '80s set pieces and the teenage stuff can get kind of cringy for me. I guess I use the word cringy. My kids say cringe all the time. That humor kind of throws me out of the movie. The '80s cheesiness they throw in. I don't mind the '80s. They just get kind of cheesy with it. But yeah, the humor. Otherwise, the humor of Bumblebee is fine. I find it fun and enjoyable. The Cybertron scenes were excellent. The best parts of the movie. I do enjoy Dropkick and Shatter. I'm not if I can remember her name. I think it's a Shatter. I don't think more to it. Um, they're really good Decepticons. I really found them enjoyable. They had personality, something that a lot of the earlier films lacked with the Decepticons or the sidekick Decepticons. I figured this film did it really good with that. So Bumblebee, I'm gonna put up here in more than meets the eye. I can watch it when it comes on TV and find it enjoyable. I can almost put it in Prime, but it's just something about it still holds it back for me. Now we're gonna move on to Transformers: Rise of the Beast. Now I did this. I did a tier ranking last year when Rise of the Beast came out. I don't remember where I ranked stuff, so things were probably in different locations. I don't remember if I had just 4 spots or more spots. I have to go back and watch that video. But Rise of the Beast. It feels like a mix of what we got at Bumblebee with like Transformers: Dark of the Moon kind of stuff. Um, I think they did a good job with the CGI. Even it wasn't ILM this time, CGI is still good, not as good as like 2007 and Dark of the Moon. Even Bumblebee had pretty good CGI. Rise of the Beast did a pretty good job, I think, with the Transformers. The Terracons kind of lacked in personality. We had Scourge, but he was just bad to be bad. We had Unicron, and I think they did a good job with Unicron, though, with the look of Unicron and everything in that movie. The humans weren't as bad or overdone. They had their story, and the story was still kind of big to the movie, especially at the very beginning. We spent a lot of time with the humans before we got back to the Transformers. But I think their story, these humans were better written than what we got previously. They weren't just comic characters; these were actual people, and I enjoyed that aspect of the movie. So, Rise of the Beast, I find it as a good time. I almost want to put it in more than meets the eye, but as of right now, I'll put it in more than meets the eye. That could fall down to GoBot. I'm not positive. I guess I can rank this more than meets the eye since I got multiple movies here. Dark of the Moon will be before 2007. Bumblebee before that one as well. And I probably could do Rise of the Beast before that one. I'm not sure. Those two would be interchangeable for me. But I think it's an enjoyable movie. All right, Transformers 1 is the last one from the theatrical run for movies, theatrical released movies. Um, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I thought it was a very well done movie. It's emotional like the '86, but this one, unlike the '86, you go walk into this one know nothing about Transformers, but you get invested in the characters. I think that it's well written, and you can get invested. So when emotional beats happen, if you're new to Transformers, you can still get invested in the emotional parts. I think it's really well done. I feel that they took a bunch of different bits of lore from multiple continuities and melded them well into this movie. Wrote it well. I feel like it was done with love and for the fans. They had a lot of fan service in it as well. I know people didn't like they didn't have Peter Cullen or Frank Welker, and I do feel like they did miss this. Could be a spoiler, But when Orion Pax finally turns into Optimus Prime, instead of having Chris Hemsworth do that his first line, you could have done Peter Cullen do it, and that would have been like an awesome thing for the fans. But my thing there is Peter Cullen, Frank Welker are not getting any younger in age, so I don't want them to be committing to a new supposed trilogy of movies if one of them passes and you have to recast them. I'd rather they just stick with what they started with. And I think if the movies are well written, people will be fine with the voices as long as they do a good job. So Transformers 1, I'm going to take that and this will go right up here in Prime. And I think for right now, it's still below the 86 movie for me. I could flip flop these two, depending on viewings. So if I go see Transformers 1 again, and it's really enjoyable, I could flip flop these two. But as of right now, it's probably my second favorite Transformers film of all time. Now, looking at the list here, Revenge of the Fallen, was it the last night? Yeah. Revenge of the Fallen, though, it has some really cool scenes. You know, it's fine, but it's just the movie itself. The humor is what really kills it for me. It's hard to take it serious, but it's got good parts. That's just one of the same with Age of Extinction. I feel it's got good parts, mostly when lockdown's on screen. But then there's a lot of fluff and other stuff that really take you out of the movie. It's that way with a lot of the live action films. And I'm being very generous with them because a lot of people would probably just put them all in the bottom row, or maybe the bottom two rows. But I mean, you can say I'm easily entertained. I'm watching these movies for fun, for entertainment. I'm watching. I'm not expecting them to adhere to the lore of G1. I don't mind them mixing continuities together in live action films. I'm just looking to be entertained and have a good time. And I feel like with these movies, if you just, the common phrase, turn your brain off and watch it. Yeah, if you just go there to have a good time, you can have a good time with some of these movies, or at least with parts of all the movies. But there's still some of the movies get so bad at times that really you can't just turn your brain off that much. You can turn your brain off, but it's still you don't want it to shit itself. So this is my final here. Yeah, 86 and Transformers 1. Definitely prime movies. If you haven't seen Transformers 1, I suggest you go see that. If you don't want to see it in theaters, spend the money. I'm sure it'll be on streaming in a couple months. You can watch it on streaming and save a little bit of money. Um, the more that meets the eye line, they're all good. For me, I can be entertained. I even showed Rise of the Beast to my kids about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And my youngest enjoyed the movie. She was 7 years old at the time. She's 8 now. She had a birthday. She really enjoyed the movie. So now one of my other kids, she liked Mirage. My youngest actually liked Air Razor, and my other kid, she watched it, but she didn't really have a preference. But she likes the RC from the '86 movie. So what's your tier list, or what's your ranking of these movies? You can let me know down in the comments below. Now, be civil. I'm not saying Dark of the Moon, Bumblebee, Rise of the Beast, and Transformers 2007 are Oscar-worthy films. No, they're just good entertainment pieces that I can pop some popcorn, put on, and have a decent time with. Uh, Even the '86 Transformers 1 are not Oscar worthy. Now, Transformers 1, the way they do these Pixar movies and stuff for awards, I can see that getting like an award for its animation or something. And it still is, I think, well directed and well written. But I don't know how they do Academy Awards nowadays. I don't really watch that crap anymore. But yeah, that's my list. You can let me know yours down below. Well, thanks for watching. Until the next one. Peace out.